Seth Lennon back here at the beautiful JW Marriott in Palm Springs, California, and at the 2024 SMACNA Annual Convention. And I have the pleasure of being joined by one of our finest minds when it comes to labor relations in our association, Gina Medel. Gina, thank you so much.
That was a nice introduction. Thank you.
Even I have my gifts. Let's just talk about, let's go into labor relations and tell us how your labor management relationship is right now.
You know, my company, we have several offices, so we're signatory to quite a few locals, but I am on quite a few boards with Local 105. So I sit on the LMCT, which is Labor Management Cooperation Trust, and also on the JATC, which is, those are two that I sit on that were very heavily involved. And I sit on the JIC, negotiations as well. So we just came out of that. I like to say we have a really good relationship. We, communication is big, and we do that. We have meetings often, like every other every other month we have certain meetings, and of course negotiations, you meet a lot more often. But the keeping like the dialogue open about, like in our LMCT, about things that are, and the JIC, problems that come up. Because even if you finish negotiating and you have your CBA, things don't always work well. Things are still interpreted differently. So to be able to sit down with them and say, hey, let's revisit this, let's talk about it, let's, be open. Do we always agree? No, but that's okay. But we have that relationship where it's good enough to have conversations. And I think that's big.
I come from the labor relations realm myself. I used to work labor relations for the Postal Service, and it's just unbelievable how different this relationship is. Postal and associated labor, not always on the same page.
Yeah.
In fact, it can be incredibly adversarial, but this is quite the opposite. How did we get here?
I know.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it is, and it's a lot of hard work, and I think having relationships with them, at the end of the day, we're all real people. And we need each other. We're a partnership. If there isn't labor, there isn't management, and vice versa. So we have to work together. And and business is difficult. You have your ups and your downs. And how do we make it better? And how do we make the job sites safe? How do we make them effective? How are we productive? And all of that. How do we stand out from non-union? And of course, having that trained and skilled apprenticeship is everything. So all of these things, it's a collaboration of everything, and like I said, I think I really like that we stay so involved with these committees that we're on, and that's and you get to know each other. Oh, how's your dog? Oh, so and so, how's your wife doing? And things like that. So you become friends in a sense, And
we got a great demonstration by that with Tom Martin and General President
Yes.
Mike Coleman.
Yes, exactly, like that.
And they talk about they play golf
Yeah.
together, and it's like, oh, we would start talking shop, and
Yeah.
he's like, we actually resolved a lot of our challenges when Mike was working at the local, and Tom was obviously running helping run TH Martin, and they basically use those small moments, those friendly moments, to actually address a lot of the challenges. And he's like, this is how you get it done. It's those
Yes,
relationships.
It really is. It really is. One thing with when I came on the committees, and I learned a lot because I was always I'm on the employer side. But just looking at their perspective and looking at what they have to deal with and their challenges. And that was really eye-opening, So you kind of understand, wow, they have it, we both have it hard in different ways. So you're compassionate in a sense, and you learn to appreciate the things that they go through. And then they kind of see it on our side too. So I think that's big, having compassion for each other, right, for what we do.
It really is, and that's important because we are human.
Yes.
Like, we make mistakes, we're
Yes.
fallible, we do this, but it's a matter of using those mistakes maybe as teachable moments,
Yes.
and learn not only more about the other person and
Right.
our partners, but more about yourself too. I think
Exactly.
it's labor relations.
Relations, it's
relations
true.
is the key part. So let's talk about that. I want to talk about the toolbox from a labor relations perspective. What kind of resources does SMACNA make available to its members, and how do you personally employ some of them to kind of help you out in a little bit of a spot?
As far as with our employees or with the union, things like that. I mean, our basic is like drug testing, right? And safety training and all of those things that are available that SMACNA does a lot of. And we have that available to us that help us to, employ, the right kind of people, go through the right training. That's everything for us, business, especially in construction. If you don't have these tools, like, making sure, people aren't using drugs. They are getting the right training, whatever it is. For us, there's different types of trainings, but safety trainings and things like that. So SMACNA is great about having workshops and seminars, and it's really valuable. It really is.
And so the thing I really also want to ask is, I always like to have folks put themselves into the shoes of someone just starting out. And that's the big thing, because all the experience in the world, and especially with relationship building like this,
Yes.
it's important to get off on the right foot. So, Gina, let's say I am getting ready to start up my own little sheet metal shop, and I come up and ask you, hey Gina, how do you make it work with labor? Like, what's step number one? What's the first thing I should remember? And what would you?
I would say be open and honest. Definitely be honest and straightforward and friendly and approachable. And like I said, be willing to ask the questions and have dialogue and things like that. And I think they appreciate that. No one wants to feel like they can't trust you. So they have to feel like they can trust you. You want to feel like you can trust them, things like that. So I would say definitely get to know them and be honest,
Transparency is huge.
Yes, yes.
Everybody has to know that there's always good intentions. I always
Right.
know. I remember I was talking with Aaron and Carol Duncan once, and there's like, always presume good intentions.
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
one of their core 4 agreements. They always talk about presume good intentions and act
Right.
with good intentions.
Absolutely. And, and look at the CBA and read through it and play by the rules so that you don't have a problem. Know that you can play by the rules. Don't get in the game if you can't play by the rules, So know what they are. And, and I think if you do that, are you going to have ups and downs? Absolutely, just like business, but you can work through them. And, like even through negotiations, I've seen it. It's contentious sometimes. And, we don't always agree and we don't get anywhere, but we walk out at the end of the day shaking each other's hands and we'll be back next week or whatever it is. So it's constant and you have to keep that relationship.
And that's really what it's about. I mean,
Yeah.
we are all on the same team. Like
Yes.
they need us, we need them.
We need them.
There's no industry
Right.
without labor. There's no industry without management.
Exactly. So yeah, I think that's what works. So.
Well, Gina, this is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do for the association, and thank you
love
for just
it.
being one of the leading sources of knowledge when it comes to labor relations. You definitely help set up the standard. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone.